I've just begun my healing journey, and everyone is saying that you have to learn to love yourself before you can love someone else. Does this mean I shouldn't be in a relationship?
That's a good question. It's one that I think comes up all the time in a bunch of different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to get your shit together before you can be in a healthy relationship? Or better yet, should you? Like, I think there's that belief out there as well, or that like people will say that, right? Where don't even bother being in a relationship until you've worked on yourself and you've gotten your stuff together. Then you can finally be in a relationship.
Right. And then when you're already in a relationship and hear that, feel like you're just the problem. You shouldn't even be in that relationship.
I heard
because
that
you're like
so many times in our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I remember very clearly getting to a point in our relationship where I'm like, I might need to end this relationship because my toxic behaviors are becoming too great and too many. And apparently, from what I'm taking in from the outside world, the only way that I'm going to heal those things is if I really dive deep into myself. And I can't do that if I'm in a relationship.
Can't do that in a relationship. And
like I even went through periods of time, babe, where I thought maybe we'll just separate. Like we'll just put this relationship on hold, you know, for 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
Because that's all it would take.
Right? Fine.
I'll fix all my shit in 6 months.
6 months. Here we go. Right. And then make you feel bad too. Like, oh, I don't really love you. They're telling me that I'm not even worthy of love. The love that I feel isn't even real.
Yeah. Not true love.
Yeah.
Or it's not even like, you know, you can't really truly love somebody until you've learned to love yourself.
When you have somebody that's over you saying you aren't doing enough, you're not loving enough, you're not doing it the way that I think it should look. So I'm going to tell you that you aren't even able to love anybody, that the way that you love is wrong, that you're not even loving somebody. Like, let's just sit with how that feels for a minute.
I think it feels great. So the answer to this question is like unequivocally no. Yeah. No, you do not need to do that. No, you don't need to get all of your shit together. No, you don't need to learn to love yourself before you can love somebody else. If you're in a relationship, you don't have to end that relationship.
Just
work on yourself.
because you started healing.
Right. And then like hurling. If you're a curler and you've started curling, no, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Is that an option?
Of course.
Right?
Is it an excuse to keep being toxic and being like, what? I don't have to do my healing. No, it's not.
Like if you're not in a relationship right now, would I recommend working on yourself? Absolutely.
Yes.
So then when you find a relationship or start a relationship,
you're coming into it with a deeper understanding of yourself, more balance, that you are bringing a version of yourself that you want to be bringing into the next relationship. And you have an understanding of like what you have your sense of self when you're moving into that.
All of that's beautiful.
So beautiful.
And all of that's great. Like definitely do that.
Yeah.
And if you're in a relationship, definitely continue to work towards that.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to stop the relationship. And the reality of it is too, is if you just heal all your wounds, if you just make peace with all your trauma, if you just get all the therapy and you spend 6 months, because that's all it takes.
6 months to a year. Like maybe you're one of those year people.
If you heal all of your stuff and then you start dating somebody and getting into a relationship with them, you will not immediately, sometimes it takes 6 months to a year, but you will uncover all sorts of beautiful things that you didn't have awareness of.
Right.
Because that's what relationships do. So it kind of doesn't matter like which comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Mm-hmm. Should you heal your shit and then get into a relationship, or should you get into a relationship and then heal your shit?
Don't wait. You'd be like, I need to find a relationship before I'm even going to consider looking at my shit.
Funny would that be?
Like, hey, you want to date? Because like, I need to fuck you up before I start.
Like, that's
We're not saying that either.
What's your favorite color? No, I'm not really interested in that.
Right.
I just want you to know I've got a bunch of baggage.
Right. I need a mirror, so...
Yeah. This, like, are you going to help me see my avoidant attachment style? Let's go there.
This shit's heavy. I want you to like...
Exactly. Does that sound like something you're in for? Cool,
right,
let's go.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Do you want to work on that before? Nope, I don't actually. I'm aware of it. I'm not working on any of it. Saving this shit for a relationship.
So we're not saying that either.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whether you do it before, during, after, just do it.
Yeah. Wherever you are,
Be there.
be there. Exactly. Like there's like, is now the perfect time to start working on yourself and
Yes.
wherever you are? Yes. And if you didn't do it now and you think about this later, is that now the perfect time? Like every now changes.
Yeah.
What was now 1 second ago is no longer now. That's already like, you are always in that moment of where, like you were saying, like be here. It is time. You don't have to wait. I mean, you can, right? If you're like really caveat, right? If you're like, I'm a very violent person, should I wait? Okay, I'm going to say yes to that one.
Sure.
I'm going to say yes to that one.
Get some of those anger issues under
Right?
control.
Like there's things that you do not. And I feel like in your soul, you don't want to perpetuate onto somebody. But if you are showing up and you are trying and you're like, oh, and now you're telling me that because I don't have self-worth, that I'm not even worthy of being in this relationship because I'm not loving enough. That sounds like some toxic, abusive shit to say to somebody. Like you're showing up, you're doing your best, and you're like, I need help. I have healing to do. I'm learning all these things about myself. And be like, yeah, you're not like, no, like show up, love yourself and keep going. Every step, everything that you are doing, like every act of love does not, what am I going with this? Let me feel this a little bit more. Hold on. Dang it, I think it's lost. I think I got stuck in the weeds. What happened is I saw a look on your face and I felt judged. And you didn't do anything wrong. That's all my shit in my head. But I lost that train of thought. So if it comes back, I'll do, but I'm not going to make you sit here and wait while I pause in my like, I got triggered.
I think just to...
my self-worth got triggered. I don't know what I was saying.
I think just to answer the question, it's like, no, right? Start working on yourself wherever you're at, regardless of whether you're in a relationship. And it's not even more ideal or an easier path or a better way to do something. Like it's not, there's no way to know whether if you heal yourself now, does that mean your next relationship is going to be all that much more beautiful? Because like we said earlier, it's going to bring up things regardless of the type of, even if you bring two perfectly healed people together, that is going to bring up something for them to internalize and look at and process.
So perfect healing doesn't exist.
Exactly. And like the perfect time or the perfect place, all of these things, like if you just continue to wait to do these things, that's just going to prolong the inevitable. So
you'll be waiting for everything. And don't also feel like that if you've made this decision that you can't change it. Like everything is changing always. Everything is temporary. So if you're in the supermarket or Walmart, whatever, and that mop, you're not stuck. Like you get to grow and evolve. And that does not mean looking at people and relationships as disposable. It's totally not what I'm saying. That's another no. But realizing that where you are now, you get to be that fully. You get to love and learn to love yourself, and you're still loving other people. You get to show up in that, and things get to change. Your mindset gets to change. How you feel about yourself and other people, it changes. It gets to grow. It gets to alter, change. Like change doesn't always mean depletion and lacks. People get really stuck in the fact that if this changes, that means I'm losing something. And can it mean that? Of course. But it always it balances out. Something else comes. Something else I guess we'll just sum it up. No, that does not mean you have to be in a relationship. Like you said, no, It doesn't mean that you can't be in a relationship now. No, it doesn't mean that you need to end your relationship now. And it can mean that maybe you should wait, and maybe the relationship that you're in isn't one that you're going to pursue any further.
Yeah. It means all those things and more.
Listen to you, not what other people are telling you should and shouldn't do. Except for that part right there. Listen to me on that one.